Okay, we're gonna start with the driver's side cab corner. So it would just go like that, cut it out. But what I found with these, sometimes this body line isn't perfect. So I usually like to cut it out below the body line first, get everything dressed up, where I can fit this in its proper place. And I like to cut this, so I am not altering the factory body line. These can be, well, we've done a couple of them on the Fords here, and these aren't always right. So if we can leave that, that's way less work for Tanya, because I just get stuff fitted, and with the two of us, and she makes it look pretty. So if she doesn't have to worry about changing where this is after I mess it up, well, it's way easier. So we're gonna start with that, and then we'll go on to the rockers. That we are just building them, and then there's quite a bit we have to manufacture. We found with some of the replacement rockers, there's a bunch of manufacturing to do anyway. So first time we're gonna try to make them and go from there. There's a little bit of hacking, not pretty stuff, but you get to see how we do it. We're probably not doing it the right way, but we do it the way we do it. You'll see as I do it, these aren't a perfect shape, but we get them. If you want to come here with the camera. So this is out all the way along, all the way right to the bottom. So when I am putting it in, the weld will be down here, hopefully, unless I have rust internally past this, but I'll know when I cut it out. But when I start putting them in, I start at this corner, get it matched, and then work my way, and then you just got to keep pushing it in and matching it and take your shape as you all go along. So you got to start and then just keep bringing it in. You bring some in, you pull some out, you bring some in, you pull some out, and you get it to match. I leave the door on so you can open and close it to check your fitment, because once this is all cut out, well, there's nothing to hold that there. So leave the door on, fire blanket on it. Hopefully you don't get sparks on it. But I'll get cutting this out. Like I said, I'm gonna cut it low to start with. And if my inner looks good, well, I'll just stop there. If I don't have to go up here, I won't. And just because it comes this size doesn't mean you have to use this size. You're cutting and welding anyway, so we're gonna get at cutting stuff up here and see what we have to work with. Okay, so I cut out my piece and I do have a lot of rust. So this is going to be full piece replacement. So what we did, we laid the new cab corner in here with the door closed, and we worried about our body line to the door. That's the only thing I worried about when placing this. Where it sits here, there, worried about this line and this gap to be even, and then go off of that. In the past, I've worried about fitment and then matching up this hole, and it throws everything out of whack. So just worried about this line, or sorry, the body line, and then we just scribed it on the paint, and I'll cut it and My scribe line here, I'll have to be in on it a bit because it was overlapped here. So I will cut, and if I got a bit of gap for penetration, that's perfectly fine. And but yeah, no, I do have to do more because the rust goes higher. There is a flap in here, so it's generally good above it. The steel is still pretty good, but I have more new steel, so it's gonna get used. A lot of times the rust stops in here, but this one is a little far gone. Anybody ever said Fords don't rust? They're a liar. Dodge don't rust. And I'm a liar too, so I'll get back to cutting, and pretty soon hopefully we'll be welding. got my first rocker set into place where it's gonna be. Using the poor man's Clecos to hold it in place. And I'm ready to scribe up where it's gonna cut and go in. I got my line is pretty close to factory, not 100%, but when I do the front, it'll all be the same. Why I'm doing it this way, I have to do these in 2 pieces. I'm not long enough, and then I can match up my body line where they were, so that way my door will close. I'll scribe her up, get cutting, and do some welding.
Hey guys, I am going to be working on this truck. I'm going to be welding in the cab corners and the rockers. The rockers so far. Believe me, I'm not a welding expert. I'm not very good. The welds aren't that pretty, but I'm a work in progress, and I will have them ground down today, and hopefully we'll get the other ones in tonight or tomorrow. See you soon, guys.
got the back half in. Tanya welded it up after I spotted it in. A little more welding and grinding to do in the back corner, but we're ready to put the front half in. A little less rust here. We're going to try to save this plastic piece. Well, I don't know if it's expensive or whatever. We're just going to save it anyway. Try to. If we melt it, but we shouldn't. Usually the heat doesn't go very far. As you can see, it hasn't even melted the paint off quarter inch away. So we keep a lot of heat. Well, I burnt a hole there, so there's a little bit of heat. But as long as I don't burn a hole, it'll be fine. So that's why this one I'm going to do a little different. I put a flange on the top of my rocker, so it's going to sit in behind. And the weld will be on top. It'll be like doing a lap weld, but it should end up flush. Got this nifty little flanger tool. You slide it on and it just gives you a nice little bend for your steel to sit on top. Copper weld through primer, top and bottom. I don't worry about punching holes here yet or anything. Generally screw and weld. A lot of times the bottom is a little nasty. Very hard to get the deep pitted rust out. So when you go to weld up into the bottom of the truck, you don't always get a good weld. So we do some self drilling screws, kind of near every second spot, and then weld those screws in as well. So they can't turn out, but it's a secondary hold than just a weld full of porosity if it's got a bit of rust there. And so I got some prepping to do, and we'll time lapse of me spotting her in, and Tanya will weld her in after. So okay, so I got some spotted in. What I'm doing here with the screws and the washers is getting these, it really helps get it flush. So I've tried a few times, because I'm in the flange, to just put the screw in like that. Whenever you drill into metal, it always flips a little bit out. So I've done pre-drilling and tried to grind it off. It just doesn't seem to work out nice. It's hard to get every little bit. It'll kind of do a little funny thing, like even screwing kind of puts out the metal. Not worried about this at all. 18 gauge, we've got room to grind that metal flat again and still be thicker than the factory, which is, I didn't put the gauge tool on it, but it's probably 22. So screw in the washer, just sucks everything together. Tap, push in between, and tacks that way and holds it there. Everything looks rough when you're doing this. Somebody good on a grinder can make it look good. So that's my screw and washer, and why I'm not going through there, because it puts metal in between if you directly screw it. And even pre-drilling, you get a little bit of distortion and a bit of a cup there that doesn't seem to want to hammer out. So I put my screw below and push, fill this in with welds, grind it flat, and you end up with a fairly flat piece. The The flange seems to be taking the heat nice. And we'll save our little, whatever we call it, paint protector here. Another 10,000 tacks and some grinding, it'll be in.
guys, Tanya from TLC Refinishing. Today I'm working on this truck. My husband helped me put it all together, and it's all welded and ground down. Did the cab corners and rockers, and I'm going to be feathering it out, and then I'm going to put some mini fiber on it to fill in all the gaps and everything. I always use mini fiber. It seems to help for sealant, and it helps keep it all the, the moisture out and everything. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll sand that down, and then I'm going to put gravel guard down on the rockers, give it a little bit more durability, and I'm going to prime it and then paint it, and it should be done. See you guys later. Hey guys, I'm just about ready to paint here. I'll tell you what I did so far. So I put gravel guard down on the rockers, so they don't really need to be, I just Scotch brighted it after. And the spots that I needed to sand, I used 220 and then I used 400 and Scotch bright everything. I'm gonna take off some of the rubbers here, just halfway up, and this piece right here. When I paint, I'm just gonna do a blend. I'm gonna sand probably with seal wool or something like that up into here somewhere, and just do a blend with the clear. And inside I'll just cut off somewhere that'll do a blend right in here, and down on the bottom it'll just be a blend in here somewhere. I'll mask around this because we kept it, and the other side will be just the same. It'll be about the same, so I'll sand it down, or have it all sanded down, and I'm gonna just mask it up, and I'll seal it and base and clear, and I'll just time lapse it for you guys. And if you're wanting me to tell you more about it, just let me know in the comments. Thanks. So we're just finishing up this truck here. We have the box bolts put on. Ford has kind of a terrible box bolt system. You never can get them off. You usually have to weld on a nut and to take them all off. So you have to buy the new set, and you buy the nuts and everything, and then the holders, you have to change them. So right now we're just gonna modify the holders. We're just gonna trim them down. Because they're a little too wide for the holes. And then the truck is done.
Maybe. Clear time to car, and about 3 strikes them up.
Well, damn it, I can't fire you.